Hello, Replay viewer. Thank you for joining. I am Ami, broadcasting from Far East Japan. Happy Hump Day. Here is our Wellness Wisdom Wednesday to share about the unique idea of identifying energy, particularly non physical, invisible energy based on Japanese culture, which I came from. And it has a unique way to identify non physical energy and use it as an everyday activity, dialoguing, communicating, something which is unique to the people in Japanese community. So the language itself is the command for action and also to composing the idea based on belief and belief system. So I like to use that word as a tool and share about the unique Japanese way identifying the energy as a culture, which is this word ki. If you're a healer, perhaps you are familiar with that Reiki. This is the key, Reiki. One of the words that containing this energy character. And that's just the one of it. And there's just so many combined key character word in Japanese languages. So I like to share some of the words that relate to our personal bettering, or we can use it for with our personal power to change for something better. And hi, Mel. Happy Hump Day. Thanks for hearting. So, and then each week I am sharing this energy word as a keyword awareness, introducing it so you may be able to find some new idea to noticing non-physical, invisible aspect of our everyday life as an energy element. Once we become aware of it and we can use our personal power to choose or combine and direct with attention, energy moves where attention is given. So you are the energy attention giver of your attention. So able to use your energy for ideal direction with conscious choice. So that's the idea. And then knowledge actually feeding us choices and a variety of choice, and we can choose what would be effective or efficient, practical, helpful for our conscious creation and bettering. So it's idea to sharing some idea in ingredients for cooking, for metaphorically. So once you become more aware of the ingredients of the energy, something you can use for your creation, and then from there you are the chef to cook it with the conscious awareness. So that's what the energy. So again, that everything is made of energy, and I chose the word particularly related to a personal, individual, local, energetic state. Some are related to the universe, is the cosmic energy, which is quite significant amount of collective energy needing to direct. Let's say it's like a hurricane, for example, the weather, that's also energy, uses this energy word. But our individual power is quite ineffective to shift in the hurricane direction, right? So, but when we give our focus on something that our feeling or our intention, and then it's absolutely we can use it to change it. So one of these locally connected wording that I am sharing. I chose 7 basic word combining with key energy word. So I'd like to pick for this week's what will be this week. Okay. This is it. Pa. Mochi. This is the hold, having, have, hold, energy. Okay. So, energy to hold within you. How you're gonna hold your energy? It's the feeding. So the feeding tells how you are holding your energy with you. So it perhaps coming from inside of inner world, like sometimes this feeding is coming from the physical, like physical illness, then feeling sick, feeling weak because the physically needing some attention. That also reflect to emotion, feeling, or some emotion itself is reflecting to how we're going to hold that energy, or to connecting with other people, anyone, friends, partner, loved ones, and that also reflect the kimochi. It's the feeling emotion. That's what kimochi is. And then when we feel a good kimochi, excellent kimochi, and then that is telling us that we are in a good resonance to our core essence, heart of the matter, or well-being, healthy. It's the good feeling. And this is, I think, the universal common sense that when you have a clean sheet, sliding into the bed, and then it feels so good with the clean sheet, with the clean pillow cover, and the clean blanket. That feeling good, that's a good kimochi. Well, good kimochi. So that is also how we hold the energy. Comfort, kimochi, is also coming from some experience with the physical sensation. So let's check what kimochi is telling on each energy center, energy chakra. So let's check it out. Kibun. A similar one is kibun. Ki is also the energy. How you're going to hold is kimochi. And the other one is ki-bun. It's part of the energy. That's mood. It's more related to the world around us in being part of the collective and reflecting that energy as a mood. But this one is more related to inner world, physical world, intellectual, each part of ourselves in the local, individual resource. Not so much being part of the space or environment. Some outer world element, like watching that movie, for example, and then scary, and then that's a response to particular information around it. That's also reflect to the emotion, kimochi. It's a weird, gross, that kimochi. But it's quite different from mood, like being part of collective energy. It's quite different. So I hope you can identify the difference between kimochi and kibun. Kibun is more of part of the field energy, and kimochi is totally connected your source energy. Okay, so here is the feeling and also the mindset. How you're gonna hold the energy with the root chakra, color red, the first energy center. It's a grounding, feeling, being connected, connection to the caregiver, mother figure, or connection to Mother Earth, earthy reality, like physical. That's the rooting energy. With kimochi is the trusting life, trusting the physical, trusting soul and spirit is in a physical body, comfort in this physical body, and also a safety, feeling being safe, kimochi, the feel safe feeling, and then also belong to this life, Mother Earth, family, community. That's the kimochi. How are you going to hold that energy? Safe, feeling, belonging, and trusting life. That's the kimochi with the first energy center in a feeling of grounding, sure footing, good feel, rooting, feel, kimochi, good kimochi. And the second energy center with kimochi is joyful, joy, pleasure, and expansive, create. That's what kimochi, good kimochi, exciting, positive kimochi in the second energy center. And the third energy center, which is the solar plexus, fire, sense of self, healthy ego, to decide, responsible, self-esteem, sure thing, desire, that power center with kimochi is self-respect, trust in self with the self-respect, and then also confident, it's the good, positive alignment with the kimochi. Color yellow. And the fourth energy center, heart chakra, it's about love, oneness, caring, nurturing, forgiving. That heart chakra with kimochi is compassion, forgiveness, forgiving, and oneness, love, all connected. One love, that's what the feeling oneness with love. It's a good kimochi, caring kimochi. And with the fifth energy center, with kimochi, the throat chakra, fifth energy center, is to express authentically from being honest, open, loving, and to what we are feeling and thinking. With the kimochi, thoughtful, authentic communication is the good feel, like open, honest, nothing to hide, with the sense of trust coming from the third energy center, and then the heart, loving, choosing word, and then express. And when we do that, expressing openly, it gives a good kimochi, excellent feel of kimochi, and to be delivered what we are responding to the experience or information or event or people. So that's what the good kimochi, expressing openly, authentically. And the sixth energy center, third eye, indigo color. It's intuition, intellect, brain. It's about wondering about insight, dreaming about vision. All this intellectual work with kimochi is the wisdom, insight, and something that reliable, the feel good. It's not doubt about it, but just unsure because this energy center is invisible yet on this earthy experience. But all the earthy experience is starting from non-physical yet, but it's already born. So then the intellectual part is the very early stage of something to born, like inspired, inspiration, idea, wisdom, or numbers, to create ideas. And good kimochi, it's something very aligned inside wisdom. That gives a positive kimochi. Like, yeah, that feels right, intellectually. Or reading some book or novel, like, yeah, that's totally immersing into that world. That's a good feeling. Or on the other hand, negative thought is like always scary, worry, idea or mindset, repeating from the negative thought pattern that is also happening. It's the bad kimochi, negative kimochi. It's like a feeding off the mind. And also the seventh energy center, color purple. It's a crown chakra about divine consciousness, life, cosmic energy. With kimochi is connecting to divine self. We are not only a physical body, we have a soul, spirit, you name it, connecting to the universe, or ancestors already went to the other side, but there isn't a connection. Without them, we are not existent here in physical also. And then some kind of like information connection or energetic connection is always happening, just invisible. So the divine, something that larger than our local connection, but we are also able to become aware and open to that divine cosmic universe. And when we feel connected to something higher self or some sort of like cosmic energy that you define as is, and then you feel good. Sometimes it also affect us in a negative way, like curse or like repeating from family trauma, whatever. So, but these things, when we notice it and then feeding as a negative kimochi, and then we can direct the energy by emptying that component and then rewire into ideal adjustment. You have a choice for your own lifetime, but sometimes it given to that as a lessons to overcoming. So maybe you got opportunity to cut the chain code from pass on to the ancestor. It's totally up to us to create the story scenario. So that is also crown chakra, kimochi, energy. How you're going to hold the energy with the divine energetic state, whatever you define that divine self connection. We have a power to give a sign the meaning if it's an ideal kimochi, but feeling or negative emotion, fear, anger is connecting to that energy state into more blissful, ideal, open, exciting, grateful for, appreciating, feeling to hold in your local state. So that's what the kimochi basically is the emotion. It's absolutely up to us to choose what type of energy we want to hold with you in local consciously. So then let's pick some element aspect here with kimochi. Top green. It's the heart chakra, fourth energy center with the balance. So the heart energy center, one love, oneness, caring, nurturing, forgiving. It's always connecting to self first, and then to connect the world around us, sharing, being part of oneness. So it's also reflecting to the third energy center, sense of self. As long as we are healthy in the self-love, self-trust, self-respect, healthy ego, and then the fourth energy center is to bring in that healthy self and to share it with the world around us. So the balance is that when we are unhealthy to ourselves, self-doubt, unable to trust, whatever the reasons are, in some level, or go up and down, we go there up and down, and doubt about self, or regaining or damaging self-esteem, and recovering it. We are growing, so that's up and down is part of our life. So, and the balance with this fourth energy center, heart chakra, one love, is it's always good to examine what within us. Are we having enough love to self in order to share with others? Because when we are not having, lack of having that, whatever that we would like to share, fully owning it, and then we can share. Unless otherwise, if we were not owning fully, and then unable to give because you're not owning it, right? So the self-love or anything that you can share with others must be fully own it with the third energy center, like ownership of the love that you can share. Absolutely loving first and to share others. If you want to share with caring, caring feeling, you must own it. If you're not owning and then sharing doesn't caring, perhaps expecting some returning by giving the caring, I think that's called business, right? Give and take and expecting something to receive back. That's quite different from the fourth energy center, one love. It's like unconditional love and give and take. That's the fourth energy center. So the balance of the love, one love with kimochi is to, when we feel something like, well, it's she's always overly getting and I'm not getting back from what I'm giving, that kind of feeling when we have to particular person or event, and then maybe better to examine self within first. Perhaps that you are giving something to that person or places that expecting some return, or some subconsciously perhaps expecting some return, or some belief system that when you do this and you're having back as an your belief system. But the balance is that to unconditional love is not asking for apologies. People will apologize when they feel needing apology, but we are the apologies is something that to forcing to have them apologizing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we expecting the forgiving forgiving, but that doesn't mean that guarantee getting the apologies, so it's a hard to, that kind of energy balance. It's sort of like the fourth energy center is unconditional love, so no expectation for returning it. So when we feel that it's draining or something unfair, then better examine within the third energy center to check in that is that healthy or expecting it's a business or some kind of outside of heart chakra kimochi. It's sincere sharing with love in one love. As it does guarantee a change of behavior from the person. Yeah. So, but we do that. I hear sometimes that I did that for you. When I was like, oh, did I ask you to do that? That's such a meaning way to. It's so mean to say that back to. But I thought it's coming from sincere heart. Yeah, it's just a wording. It's not connecting from the heart. Many people does that, just like, oh, sorry, and then that doesn't mean feeling sorry for them. These people are these people. Just the ego is disallowing them to open it, or the dynamic is the authority figure that losing face, or whatever their ego is powerful enough to have them open it. These people are actually weak people. I leveling it because they're strong enough, open enough, and then openly be able to apologize. That's what the true power is. And the really powerful people is open and apology with no ego showing it. Ego showing in that way is a very small people pretending as powerful, need a shield to sorry. you know but that's their job. And then so that when I noticed some people complaining about, I did that for you, and I was like, and then every time I become a witness about that dialogue, and then I commit myself to not to do anything for me saying that in later time, you know not to control it. But when I do something, and then that because I want to do, not for perhaps that is also for them, that's wonderful, but the foundation is coming from that's what I want it. I think that's a very important intention, and not to tell that I done it for you, and then you complaining about it. I take full responsibility of others' response because I did it for myself too at the first place. So, but the other person perceived it in a different way, so that's fine, you know. So no complaining, no blaming, or. But I sometimes do that. I did that for you with the very close people like my mother. I mean, then that shows the relationship is very close. So I become such a child to complain. I did that for you. But I'm grateful for to having these kind of people still around me. But most of the time, I just become aware with becoming mature awareness to behave as an intending to be a bettering person. So yeah. So that's what the kimochi, and then the balance. I think it's a good balance is really good. It's a Libra season, and with the love is really like when we low energy with the self-love, and then giving others too much love, and then it's not balancing well. So what we need is the oxygen mask first, pumping ourselves first. Anything that you need your attention to, nurturing self-love, to boosting plenty of love to be able to share with others, unless otherwise it's better not to share that much. So we all go up and down, and it's good to be aware that where you are and what makes it balanced, because the balance is such a natural things, and it's easily get lose control in case of me though. So that's what this week's kimochi with balancing our heart chakra love within and the world around us. Thank you for joining. So would you like to get the wisdom word for the week, Mel? If so, let me have your number between 1 to 7, please. I was wondering about that. Some words popping up frequently and some are not so much. 4. Excellent. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. It's the same. Kimochi. Kimochi. So this week is really a kimochi. How are we gonna hold the energy? How are we gonna hold the energy? And then I will pick the aspect for you. Emotion. Isn't this interesting? So top root chakra. Root chakra with flexible, no matter what number. Flexibility with the root chakra, rooting, family, feeling belong to, connecting, down the earth. I think it's interesting. The other day also you picked that root chakra, something to bring it into earthy reality. The kimochi is the trusting, feeling safe in this physical body, physical creation, and also a feeling belong to this earthy community. I want to make it as a little bolder, larger scale for this flexibility. So it came to me that when you give in some idea to make it a structure and give physical form or shareable form, or to bring it into the earthy factual experience, that shareable form, there's a many way to make it, bring that down here on earthy reality. And flexibility with this kimochi, will emotion is it feel more comfortable, reminding that there is other way to make it. It's easy to give the specific idea or one way to make that come through. That's a great concrete idea, but maybe the way to create or to approach or the process is have a room. It has a room for flexibility. That's a power though. So then when we can give that allowance or the flexibility or other idea, other way to approaching it, to create from originally came to your upper, intellectual idea. Earthy structured reality gives more inflexible feeling. You know what I mean? It says flexibility, but feeling is flexible. And once we became, once we build it, just like a building or the houses, then it's concrete, like a complete. It's very difficult to change it afterward. So, but and then the kimochi is like, well, unsure about that. It's the gap between thought it would be and then factuality is kind of misaligning. And if you feel that misaligning or something is off, or noticing some resistance in your emotion, and then being open to the flexibility and seek some intellectual idea like intuitive insight, synchronicity, trusting that we are all connected here, and then also the earthy reality. So hope it helps to get some idea about emotion, how you're going to hold the energy with being flexible to build the foundation, give earthy reality to bring that idea into the factual shareable form. So I'm sending a healing to, I think your idea is very concrete, but giving structure is such a hard work, which is I'm very weak. It's giving a sort of like a physical is really involving. So giving flexible is the power, and use your emotion. How you're gonna hold that energy to that is reminding to have a flexibility. Any level would be helpful, and then give yourself a permission to be flexible even if it feels like it's inflexible and no other way to make it happen. Thank you. So the idea came to me that the building in the urban Japanese city, that the Japan is famous for huge earthquake country. You're welcome. The earthquake country. So the construction technology is really advanced, and one of the world top level, I think. And the taller building, it's when you are going up there and then having a magnitude 5 or 6 earthquake experience, and then the building goes this way. It's not collapse, but it's like a bend, just like a really like theme park ride or something. The building itself built as and being flexible, that's the resilience. So the design to be like bending a little bit as on a bridges, not just uptight and then it's easily collapse. So that's a good example of the earthy, like physical flexibility is the power. And then I always remember in this tall building in Tokyo, it's like really flexible, but it is the power that's enable sustaining over like 7-point magnitude earthquake hit. The building still remains, but shaking like hell. It's not as a concrete building, but they just dancing as the building in that way. So sometimes that earthy experience is concrete. slow. Yeah. And then I think that trees also, that if it's dry and then it's broken easily, but tree is very resilient, right? Like the branches out, and then very resilient, soft, but it's strong. The soft doesn't mean that weak. It's the soft is the strong way to sustaining the life on earthy element. Yeah, yeah, no, don't be sorry. Yeah. So that's what the reminder energy, how we can use this kimochi being flexible with the earthy. And then also this goes to some belonging, like building foundation or feeling being connected, like a family or community, that being flexible to hold your um, feeling emotion. Like if you feel like you don't belong here no longer, it has been, but no longer, and then perhaps it's a good idea to be flexible, to change the way to relate to them, because each one of us grow, and perhaps that you are changing so fast, and it used to fit nicely, but no longer the case. I think it's natural for each one of us. And then if it's meant to be, it will come together again in some form or some new way to resonate, especially a family members or cross groups or community. I know that community that I've been with, some are out and then coming back years later. Someone is not talking, and this is like a collapse, and then they're coming back again, and some are no longer, just gone, and then perhaps it's not resonating anymore, but who knows, maybe in the future it comes back again. So it's about knowing that flexibility is the power, even if it's sad in some level, that allowing ourselves to be flexible, to get the feeling of belonging, that is more important than staying there insisting with ignoring the feeling, that bad feeling, negative feeling, being root energy center. It's like belonging. In case of myself, is one of the hardest lesson is that biological family with unconditional love. um, I was thinking about childhood, and so many child, like a orphanage is started to happen because of the invasion. Can you believe that how many children lost the family and parents and needing the caregiver for becoming a healthy, human, becoming a human, with a healthier um, awareness. So I'm just thinking about it, and then myself decided not to have my own biological children back then, and then what I know, one of the reasons is that I hope, of course, everybody knowing only own childhood experience, and I committed not to repeating what I've been experienced from the mother, and how mother, like a chain effect, passing on to it. So that's something that I wanted to avoid it. So and it's interestingly, subconsciously, unconsciously, or consciously, maybe my sister also decided not to, and my aunt, my mother's sister, younger sister, also not having it. So somehow that subconsciously, ending that chains, and So that's one of the reason, and then somehow I would like to connect with the next generations, and that's my life way to connect to the life on earth. But so then the flexibility with the feeling being belong to something that is I am now experienced, because that's one of the reasons that I'm now reside in Japan. That most of my adulthood are being out of this country, and so needed to be reconnecting the root, that to feel the both positive and negative aspect of where I came from, including the biological family, and then as a collective, as a nationality and cultures and countries. Um, yeah, and then I'm learning so much things, like dislike, not reactive to it, but just as an earth residence, I would like to share awareness in some way. So that's one of the reasons that I'm doing it, with sharing some cultural energy, um, wisdom in this way, for some better in outside of cultural influences, but as a human being, that we have an awareness, we have an ability to think and feel, and these are mutual. So as long as we can share and get some idea, and then something valuable can be use for unique individuals own better in. So that's one of the things, and then I feel belong to the community who shares the mutual interest, which is the conscious living better, in becoming a better person, and supporting one another for grow better. And that creates the better, world a little bit, and then extend, expand. So thank you for connecting here and sharing your presence, Mel. I truly appreciate that. From that perspective, also, that I feel really connecting to myself, and then also connecting. You make me feel like being connecting to someone who also has a mutual point of view to create the life as a unique expansion and growth. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, well, it's becoming dark here. Before closing here, oh, thank you. Thank you. So before closing here, I would like to connect our energy with conscious breath. And as a quick mindfulness exercise to connect each part of ourselves. And have you noticed the energy shift recently? Like, I am so aware of the after Mercury went direct, sometimes around third, couple days ago, this week actually, and compared to a week last week. Yeah, I love this energy much better. Do you feel that? Yeah, it's more promising, it's more open, less resistant. In case of me, it's like so much resistant, type denial, resistant, but it's more supportive for whatever that are putting attention to, and flowing. Oh yeah. So it's I like this energy a lot. So hoping to bring this and to use as a momentum to support what we are going. And then you know what, I kind of lost the timing to share the energy circle that I got blessings from the shrine there last week, but I haven't posted it yet on Instagram. I will though. Yeah, indeed, productive, and then something smooth about it, like almost like effortlessly. And what I was thinking was a lot bigger than actually being taken into, which is really ideal. Very ideal. So, yeah, and let us keep this momentum going and to use the flow towards the, yeah, lift it. Uh-huh. It's like a light as a feather, kind of like little bit lighter. And then the full moon is coming. So let us create the momentum towards full moon to shedding all this, no longer serving, and allowing new. So it's getting clear about what we are shooting for or invite in or aligning to. It's good to be pay attention or clarifying that particular um, experience or outcome towards the full moon. So, in order to do that, it's always ideal to clean the system out and flush out, let go, let go. Phone is also needing the cache to clear, digital crops and to get clean out. So as our system. So let us take a moment right now with a deep breath to create the space consciously and let go all this no longer serving who is talking to you behind you, back of your mind, and then haunting and haunting and getting attention, no longer serving from the past, for example. Got the code, no need to, thank you, goodbye, I got the lesson, I heard your message, and then let go. So we want to do that together and support one another to clarify the local state, what we are thinking, feeling, and the physical being also. The physically needing healing, maybe the twisted some part of a body or sore in or scar or like bug bites here, like whatever that you need in a healing physically, that is also pay attention and releasing the pain, discomfort, no longer serving. You've got the attention. It's got your attention. So now you know it. And then let go consciously. So we have mind, emotion, and physical. It's three area. Consciously let go. Notice it one by one. Let go. When we inhaling and then exhaling, let go one by one by one by one, and then connect to the perfect aligning here now in your physical body to consciously do the deep breath together. Ready? Exhaling from the nose, counting 3, 1, go. 2, 3, and exhale. Second time, let us use the vocal saying out and then completely letting go with the sound of out and to clean the space within and around us. Ready? Inhaling now. Exhale. That last one. So we like to invite in the clear goal, wishes, the experience will come in, aligning to that person who is already experiencing that chosen destination, just embodying the feeling, who's around you, what do you hear, what's the smell, just the feeling, the feel of you already experiencing that chosen self experience. So when we're exiting, in taking it in and aligning to the new you, perfectly matching to that goal, wishes, and exhaling to all the energy and connect with the world around you and send one another supporting to there, here, now with that new alignment. Ready? Let's go. Thank you for connecting, living the heart, retreat, living a sum up. I truly appreciate your connection, support, feeling being truly supported. Thank you for sharing your live, lovely present smell. You have a wonderful evening and happy rest of the week. Thank you so much. And perhaps I see you over the full moon this weekend. Bye. Thank you.